Alright, welcome to topic 3, lesson 3. The first video you watched gave you a nice run through of understanding and explaining how the use of percentages can also fit into our idea of being proportional. And so we're going to continue working with that in the following example. So we're starting to combine two different equations. So the first equation is our percentage equation, which is percent equals part divided by whole. And then we're also looking at the idea of y equals kx, or as they showed in the first video, y equals mx, and m is the same thing as k in this case. So, example 2 says many states have a meal tax that is proportional to the total spent on food and beverage. In one state, the meal tax is 8.44%. How much tax will a customer pay if the food and beverage total $54? So, what we want to do here is to figure out, first of all, our equation to this problem. Alright, since we can take our equation part divided by whole equals a percentage, we can also rewrite that to look something like this. Part equals the percentage times W standing for whole there. So we can rearrange it in that way, and that's how we see it presented before us here. So that's what we want to figure out. With that in mind, then, it's easy to identify where percent goes. Take that. This is true. Anyway, I'll just draw it. Alright, so we're going to put percentage here. Right? And then percentage of what? The whole. Right? The whole. What is the whole? So we're looking at the bill. And then what part we're trying to figure out we want to tax. Right? So we have that idea. So what does that look like algebraically? And start plugging things in. And we have T for tax there and B for bill. But then the question is, which of these goes in the correct place? And this is where we look at our relationship. Since our percentage is this percent, we got to put it over 100 and then divide, which means move the 2 to the right one, 2. Put a 0 there, so we're using 0, 4, 4. So changing our percentage into a decimal helps us to figure out the equation. Okay, then once we have done that, you can see we correctly did that, and we have all our different pieces here then, like this, and it's all about solving then. And when we solve, we're just going to plug things in. Since we know $54 is the bill, we can plug that in right here and multiply those two numbers together to get this number right here. But then we got to remember that this decimal right here is not in fraction or in percentage form, it's in decimal form. So we want to change this back. So we're going to multiply by 100 to make a percent. So that's 1, 2. So that's, sorry, what am I doing? It is, we want to round. That's what I wanted to talk about, not converting it back. It's already where it needs to be. Rounding. Why is it 5.6? 0.56. Scribble all that out. That looks cool, right? All right. Why are we rounding up? Because, of course, a restaurant doesn't want to give away this fraction of a penny, so you're going to round up in the end. Whew, let's move on to example 3 because I think it's time. All right, with example 3 then, it talks about the idea of earning a commission. And this is similar to Tax, it's just tax isn't really being deducted. Commission means that's how they earn their income. They earn a percentage of a sale. That's usually where you see it. So we see that in this problem. Jane earns 5.5% commission on the selling price of each home she sells. She earned $9,020 in commission on the sale of a home. What was the selling price of the home? So the question might be, okay, how do we set up the equation, right? Go back to the beginning, right? Part equals percent times the whole. So we look at our pieces. We have 5.5%. That's easy to identify. And then we look at this. What does this 9,020 represent? It says 9,020, she earned 9,020 in commissions on the sale of a home. What was the selling price of the home? So what does this 920 go to? Does it go to part or does it go to whole? Hopefully you said part, because that would be correct, because that's not the price of the house, but rather how much she got from the house. So we need to solve for the whole here. And so that's what we're going to do in this problem. All right, then let's take a look at the work then, right? We have our drawing here to help us understand what's taking place, right? So the selling price is going to be our whole. We already identified that. Percentage there is commission is our part, and of course our percentage is 5.5%. We set up the equation just like they did and started plugging things in. And then this step, you can see they converted that 5.5% into the decimal here. So working with that idea. And then it's just solving that, right? You have this wonderful number times h. And so to get rid of it from one side or to move it to the other side, right, we're going to divide by that number. And then that's what they do over here then also, is they divide by that same number, which gives us a value of 1,604. I said that wrong. 164,000. Whew, it must be late when I'm making this video. I apologize. I really do. So we see those different pieces, right? Doing the math to solve this. All right, then there's some tryouts waiting for you. Go ahead and work through those and write down any questions you might have in your notes or in your book, and we'll take a look at those in class.